A long time ago, in the land of Israel, there lived a boy named David. He was the youngest of 8 brothers and spent his days watching over his father's sheep in the fields. David loved to sing songs to God, and while tending his flock, he played his harp, creating beautiful music. But what no one knew was that God had chosen David for something great. The secret anointing at that time, King Saul ruled over Israel, but he was no longer following God's ways. So, God sent the prophet Samuel to find a new king. "Go to the house of Jesse," God told Samuel. "One of his sons will be the next king." When Samuel arrived, Jesse brought out his strongest, tallest sons. Surely one of them must be the chosen king. But God whispered to Samuel, "Do not look at their appearance. I do not see as people see. I look at the heart." One by one, Jesse's sons stood before Samuel, but none of them were chosen. Finally, Samuel asked, "Do you have any more sons?" Jesse nodded. "There is still David, but he is just a shepherd boy." "Bring him to me," Samuel said. When David arrived, God spoke, "This is the one, anoint him." So Samuel anointed David with oil, and from that day, God's Spirit was with him. David and Goliath, the battle of faith. Not long after, a great war began between the Israelites and the Philistines. The Philistines had a mighty warrior named Goliath, a giant over 9 feet tall. He wore heavy armor, carried a massive spear, and challenged the Israelites every day. "Who will fight me?" Goliath roared. "If anyone can defeat me, the Philistines will be your servants. But if I win, you will serve us." The Israelites were terrified. No one dared to fight Goliath, not even King Saul. One day, young David arrived at the battlefield, bringing food for his brothers. When he heard Goliath mocking God, he felt anger rise in his heart.
"Why is no one fighting him? We have God on our side," David said. His brothers laughed. "Go home, little shepherd." But David did not back down. He went to King Saul and said, "I will fight Goliath." Saul shook his head. "You are just a boy. Goliath has been a warrior since he was young." But David replied, "When a lion or bear came to attack my sheep, I struck them down. God protected me then, and he will protect me now." Seeing David's faith, Saul agreed. "Go, and may God be with you." David did not take a sword or armor. Instead, he picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and took his slingshot. When Goliath saw David, he laughed. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" But David stood tall. "You come with a sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord. Today God will give me victory." David placed a stone in his slingshot and swung it with all his might. The stone flew through the air and struck Goliath right in the forehead. The mighty giant fell to the ground with a great crash. The Philistines saw what happened and ran away in fear. That day, David became a hero of Israel, from shepherd to king. After David's victory, King Saul invited him to live in the palace. David became a great warrior and leader, winning many battles. But as he grew stronger, Saul became jealous. He feared that David would take his throne and even tried to harm him. David had many chances to fight back, but he refused. "I will not harm the one God has anointed as king," he said. Instead, David trusted God's timing. After many years, King Saul died in battle, and finally, David was crowned king of Israel. As king, David ruled with wisdom, justice, and faith. He led the people in worshiping God, wrote beautiful psalms, and helped make Jerusalem the holy city. But David's story also reminds us that even great leaders make mistakes. Yet when David sinned, he always turned back to God, asking for forgiveness. Because of his faith and love for God, David is remembered as one of the greatest kings in history, the one God chose to lead his people. The lesson of David's story. David's journey teaches us that God does not choose people based on their size, strength, or appearance. He looks at the heart. Even when others doubt us, God sees our potential. And just like David, when we trust in God, no giant is too big to defeat,